All right, the 49ers report coming at you late on a Tuesday night because news just in that Jimmy Garoppolo has passed his physical, will not start the season on PUP. This is the 49ers report. I'm your host, Chase Sr. And the 49ers reported to training camp today, 2 videos earlier, training camp preview, and some of the biggest news and notes from day one as Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch spoke with the media. That's why you subscribe to the channel with training camp here, preseason, regular season coming up. We're going to be pushing out so much content. But in that press conference, Kyle Shanahan had said, we had a conversation with Jimmy Garoppolo. We told him that this is Trey Lance's team. He's going to be the starting quarterback. So I thought, okay, after work, because this offense is going to be putting up a lot of touchdowns and 6 points. I've run every single day of June and July. I'm going to run 6 miles tonight for some tutties for San Francisco. Was in the pool to recover, then saw the news from Matt Mayoko. So let's get to it. But first, if you're pumped up for the Niners, now that a football practice is going to take place tomorrow and games are right around the corner, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Matt Mayoko, NBC Sports Bay Area, just moments ago, saying that Garoppolo, and this wasn't made official yet, Garoppolo was officially cleared after undergoing his physical with the 49ers this afternoon. He does not open training camp on the PUP list after undergoing shoulder surgery back on March 8th. So the translation there is that Garoppolo is healthy. He has passed his physical. Mike Garoppolo, NFL Network, chiming in, there was a 0% chance he was going to be flunked on a physical by a team trying to trade him. We'll see where this goes for the 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo. So what this comes down to, it's a good sign. As we've talked about here on the 49ers report, and as has been reported the last couple of weeks, Garoppolo, since undergoing that surgery in March, which he didn't originally inform the team about, and which impacted his trade market and pretty much killed it, because up to this point, he has not been dealt. And Kyle Shanahan said today, if it wasn't for the injury, he probably would have been traded, is that Garoppolo's recovery continues to go well. He's on schedule. He's been throwing for weeks. Maybe won't be a full participant, as Ian Rappaport said last week, until mid-August, but healthy enough at least to get dealt for the medicals to get checked out by San Francisco, but also potentially an acquiring team. And that Rappaport report, we talked about it, him being a full participant, that primarily means, and basically means, him throwing on the pads, participating in throwing long balls, completing every throw on the football field, and practicing when there are live bullets, 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s. It doesn't mean that he can't throw the football. So that's an important part of that report from Rap Sheet last week. Now, this is also on top of everything going down on the Garoppolo front. Kyle Shanahan did suggest today, and has kind of pointed toward this offseason, that the team, the organization, going to work with Garoppolo as well as his agent Don Yee to find a suitable trade partner. The question now really becomes, how long will San Francisco try to trade Garoppolo before then coming to a decision about whether or not to cut him? So that's something that could play out over the next couple of weeks. What's also notable, San Francisco no longer on the hook for $7.5 million. So that's important as far as Jimmy Garoppolo's contract goes. There is that base salary of $24 million and that cap hit of $26.9 million. For an acquiring team, they'd probably have to work with Garoppolo to do a contract restructure. Maybe the Niners could restructure with Garoppolo. Garoppolo probably doesn't want to take a pay cut, right? But in order for him to go somewhere else where he might have the opportunity to start going into the final year of his contract, he might have to take a pay cut. There's only one team in the NFL currently, it's the Cleveland Browns, who can afford Garoppolo's base salary right now. I also talked about previously, 3 things that could change, this Garoppolo trade market and flip it from being dead with a tombstone in the grave to it picking up at least a little bit. It's subpar quarterback play for another QB around the NFL, especially for a team that has pressure to win right now with either a good roster that's playoff capable or a coach that's on the hot seat. If there's a quarterback out there, Let me throw you an example. Tua Tagovailoa, who struggles with the Dolphins after they were top 5 and the most money spent during free agency, and they have this roster that's ready to win right now. They made the Tyreek Hill trade to win right now. Other acquisitions to build a ready to currently win and compete roster. They could trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. So those are the types of things that could happen. Also, an injury out there to any quarterback in the NFL. Hopefully no notable QBs get injured. You're not hoping for that because the product of top-tier football is why the NFL has taken over America. But let's just say a quarterback injury happens to another team in the National Football League. Are there many better options out there who are realistically available than Jimmy Garoppolo, who has played in a bunch of big games, who's won a lot of games, and on a team that has a strong nucleus? He can kind of play point guard and doesn't have to be a quarterback who's relied to drop back and throw the football 30 to 50 times per game like we currently see in the modern NFL. So those are the types of things that could flip, what has been a dead Jimmy Garoppolo trade market and heat it up a little bit for San Francisco to pull off a trade. Now, you have to throw this out there, right? At what point, as I said a little bit earlier, are the 49ers just going to outright cut Garoppolo? Kyle Shanahan said today he's not expecting Garoppolo to practice at all. He said it's Trey Lance's team, and Garoppolo is expected to be away from the facility. He just had to report today to take the physical and pass the physical because that's an important step in potentially trading Garoppolo away. So, the final sector of this conversation, will a team trade for Garoppolo? Could the 49ers cut him? Because clearly they have plans to start Trey Lance. Kyle Shanahan told the team, the media, and Garoppolo that today in a meeting. Other news and notes from training camp. Look, we covered a lot today. This is the third video, as I talked about earlier, but the big storyline looming, it looks as though Deebo Samuel and San Francisco have been on a good page. They've had good talks, and they've been communicating to a positive manner. That coming from Lynch and Kyle Shanahan today. John said, look, we expect the deal to get done soon. Not sure how soon, but we do expect to get something done that'll make both sides happy. And that's obviously important when you have a young quarterback in Trey Lance who is going into his first full season as a starter. And when you have Deebo Samuel, either as a running back or a wide receiver, you get him the football and he does some magical things and it makes you look good in the process. But the 49ers do begin practice on Wednesday. So is Deebo, while reporting to training camp, is he going to actually practice, or is he going to stay on the side field until a deal gets done for him to partake in practice because he wants to avoid injury? So we'll see what happens with that. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated right here on the 49ers Report. Been a blast being able to talk actual football today, and we're going to continue to keep it moving. Wanted to bring you another video tonight to keep you in the know with all things going down with this football team. We'll be back tomorrow. So enjoy your night. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe right now.